Welcome, students and my viewers. Thank you for choosing my channel. So, today we'll study this poem, Character of a Happy Life, composed by Sir Henry Wotton. Now, instead of going into the biography and how this poem uh, came into existence, what were the thought process of uh, Henry Wotton, we'll make a separate video on that and the rhyme scheme. Today, I'll just talk about the thought that has been expressed in this poem. So, straight away, I'm just taking two stanzas today, and then two stanzas we'll have three videos, because the thought is laden with such a depth and meaning that to explain the whole six stanzas, I find it take quite a long time. So let's begin. Here, how happy is he, born or taught, that serveth not another's will, whose armour is his honest thought, and simple truth his utmost skill. Now, Henry Wotton, in the first stanza, it seems he is exclaiming, wondering, and imagining, you can say, that how happy that person is. What kind of person he's talking about? How happy is he, born or taught? That means the qualities which he is thinking about, one can be born with those qualities also. And by taught, you can mean that he can train himself also. If he gets that kind of environment and training, in spiritual training, which makes him and imbibe those qualities which Henry Wotton is about to tell in the lines coming lines. So he's just wondering, imagining how happy is he, born or taught. Now we find people who are born with such qualities, and also those who gather those qualities during their life, during the course of their life. They learn by experience. They are thoughtful people. They think why they are in this world. What's the purpose of being in this world? Does this world give them happiness? Does this world give them security? Does this world make them fearless? Now, the second line, he says, that serveth not another's will. Now, don't be mistaken by saying that any other person's will. No. Here he is actually talking about what he himself is different from that. That is, his emotions, his passions, desires, his wanting. Whatever you want in this world, that is your valency. That is your incompleteness. That makes you move to go towards fulfillment. We are all going towards a destination where we think that we'll get fulfillment. That means where all desires end. There, the real journey begins. There, real happiness is. Suppose in world I think I don't have a particular thing. Suppose I don't have a mobile and I want a mobile. And I am unhappy that I don't have a mobile. So I make efforts to get one. And once I get it, I feel satisfied. Now, this wanting of mobile made me move, made that effort. And if I don't get after that effort, I'll be sad. I'll be miserable. I'll feel miserable. And once I get it, then there comes a fear. The fear is of losing it, of spoiling it. If it happens to fall, then what will happen? I'll be again, I won't be happy. So, this getting and trying to get something makes us move, makes us wanting, makes us desire something. And with that comes the fear of losing it. And to live with fear or having a valency, that means incompleteness, makes us dependent. We are not free. We are slave to our desires. We are slave to our emotions. And we are acting accordingly to fulfill all that, which never takes us to fulfillment. So here, our action is a slave of our emotions. It is separate from our real being. And in ordinary word also, you can see that people are worried. When we do something, we often think what a particular person will think, what others will consider about me, what opinion will they have about me if I do like that. So you just want to please them and you act in a way in which you really don't want to. That is, you are not in your own self. Then you are not living your own life. You are living someone else's life. In that sense also, this line, that serveth not another's will, is there. Then, now this is the third line. Whose armour is his honest thought, and simple truth his utmost skill. Armour. Armour is a defense, like a warrior defends himself against any kind of attack by sword or something. So he says that happy person, he doesn't require any kind of physical armory, anything to guard him, like whatever you call physically, but in her inner self, his honest thought is his greatest defense against attacks. What kind of attacks do I thinking about? Those attacks of allurement, of temptations, of passions. He is not slave to his passions. He rules his senses. He is not slave to his senses also. Thus, this, you can say, the theme of servitude. He is not servant to any kind of emotions. Then, and simple truth is utmost skill. You see how beautifully he has used the word utmost skill. Actually, he hasn't got any skill. He is not wise at all. He does not weigh things, their pros and cons, and he does not look for profit and loss in physical terms. That means is he is actually very pious at heart, a virtuous person who cannot think any time of ill to anyone, nor envy anyone. He holds on to truth, the pure truth that he has. That is his skill. That means he has no other skill in the kind of skill we talk about in this world. He hasn't got wisdom. He is not wise. Rather, he is pure and pious. That is his weapon, you can say. Then, whose passions not his master's ours. Again, the theme is carried on to the second stanza, and he says that the passions are not his masters, but he is the master of his passions. That is why he is Lord of himself. He rules himself. He has full control over his body and senses. He is not swayed by any emotion. He is not swayed by outside world. And see, just going back again, just think one sentence. Can fear and liberation go together? Can fear and liberation go together? No. If you have the central idea in this mind, you'll naturally understand the poem. Whose soul is still prepared for death. That means he has no pending accounts, no accounts to be cleared off. He's always ready. He's always clear at his heart. He has nothing to confess because he has done nothing wrong. He don't have to confess anyone anything. He has done nothing wrong. That is why it is our action that we perform, and if it is selfish, then it has some kind of fault in it. That kind of fault this happy man does not have. This Henry Wotton's happy man does not have that kind of fault in his individuality, in his personality. Untied unto the world by care of public fame or private breath. Now, here again, we see that he has no worries, no tensions, no worldly tensions at all, no responsibilities, no duties which trouble him, which disturb him. And nor he is affected by any kind of praise, or he falls prey to anyone's sycophancy or flattery. Nor flattery can harm him, nor does he desire any kind of praise from anyone. And if criticism comes, that too has no effect on him. So, fame, or you can say praise or criticism, are same to him. No differences. He sees no diversity in these. everything becomes same over here. Now, feeling, I'm just getting a two line what the Bhagavad Gita says, that in Sanskrit it is Yoh na harshati na dveshti na shochati na kankshati shubh ashubh parityagi bhakti manne me sa priya. One who neither grasps pleasure or grief, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious, is very dear to me. Does those lines not sound over here? I think they do. They well express the situation, the condition of his heart, of his soul. Now, this kind of person, when he says untied unto the world by care of public fame or private breath, that means he's inactive. He goes to idleness. But I don't think so, that he's really idle. There are accusations that say that in his later times, later years, a growing inclination to idleness in his later years he is charged with. But you see, just like a spinning top, when it rotates very fast, you see it still standing at one point. But as the speed gets slower, you see it rotating, then making some sound also. And when it gets slower, then it makes sound and it just falls, making lot of sound. So everything that is active does not mean that it should show that. His idle time is actually not idly spent. He is very active mentally. He has reached sorry and state where you can see that his consciousness level has risen. So the next stanzas I'll carry on. If you like my method, like, share and subscribe it. Thank you for watching my video.